Welcome to my channel and my first ever YouTube painting tutorial and talking over video. Let's see if I can get through this without hacking up a lung, because it is allergy season here in Southern California. So to start off, you can see that the underpainting on this is definitely more wild and abstract. I take inspiration from both urban and natural decay. Seashells, wood, paint in places that have been like flood zones when the mold has come in and is lifting up the paint from the walls, cars that have been left to rot for who knows how long. There's just this wild beauty that happens in the fallen trees. And love old barns, old decrepit barns. Do you like any of that stuff? I love looking at those, taking photographs of them, and just wondering at the stories that are there. They tell stories. All that rot tells a story. Even the fallen tree that you see on your path when you're hiking, it had a life that it had lived, and now here it sits on the ground to feed the next generation of plants and insects and give shelter to the little critters. And that's also why I love putting the birds in on top of these crazy abstracts and I have so much fun with these underpaintings. It's just a wild process where I'm putting stuff on and taking it off and scraping and cutting and blow drying, removing and putting back on again. It's playful. It is unhinged. It's I could do them all day and just do tons and tons of these wild underpaintings. But I love to taper it with these semi-realistic. I'm not going for realism with the hummingbird here, but semi-realistic and impressionistic somewhat, I don't know, paintings of hummingbirds or ravens or deer. I'm doing a deer. I have some dragonflies in the mix. What I love though about doing the contrast between the two, the birds or the creatures that I put on top, they're much more tedious, time consuming. I tend to kind of put off doing them because the underpainting was free, intuitive, and wild. This is controlled and deliberate, and I'm using tiny brushes as opposed to just all kinds of other objects that aren't even paintbrushes when I'm doing the other stuff. I don't even think there's a paintbrush on any of that background. But that's this contrast, this idea of these contrasts between the wild and the tamed, that stark contrast in general is something that has been fascinating to me since I was very young, to look at things from both ends, both directions. And I still do that even now. I want to hear both sides of the argument. I want to seek to understand and meet in the middle. And in a way, that's what this does, because I love both art forms. I love to see nature art, doing nature studies, going out into the wild and looking at the birds. Do you know, if you really want to get to know anything, rather it is a flower or a bird or a tree, it could be buildings in your city. Hold on. It could be, I don't know, your lover, your child. Well, we already pretty much know their faces, but if you draw them, even if you're crappy at it, you don't have to be good at drawing or painting to connect with what it is you're trying to recreate. It changes your relationship with that thing. If you go out and you find the nearest palm tree, I'm looking at the palm tree in my backyard, and you paint that thing, draw it, knit it, I don't care, just somehow try to reproduce it, you're never going to look at it the same again. It will change the way you look at the world. The mountains, I love painting mountains. I don't see them the same, definitely don't. So that relationship between the nature study and the controlled work and the wild, crazy decay in the background, I feel like it's balance. I feel like the bird coming in and the insects and all the creatures that come into the places of urban and natural decay, they're like a symbol of hope, I think. There's this life from death. Well, that's kind of pretty much the end of my video. I just wanted to check in and start this whole process of sharing with you. Please like and subscribe and share as you feel fit to do. And I look forward to meeting you in the next video.